female and 4 male.
Ajali imekuwa mbaya sana.
Tonight on EBN Prime Edition, 10 people, all members of the same family, dead in a horrific road accident in Kodada, Rachunyo West, Homa Bay County, bringing December's road death toll to 28.
To prioritize joint enforcement and visibility across the country, and especially in high-risk corridors, to handle traffic matters instantly.
NCAJ confirms plans to deploy mobile traffic courts and set up roadblocks along major highways to deter reckless driving and ensure compliance with the traffic regulations.
It's amazing.
Yes.
I mean, I can't believe this. This is profound.
Thank you.
Yeah? I am sure that's going to have a big impact.
Yes.
President William Ruto awards environmental activist Truphena Muthoni the Head of State Commendation Medal, honoring her as tree planting ambassador. And Faith Star FC from Berry North constituency crowned champions of the 2025 Embu Governors Cup after edging out Marvelous FC of Manyata constituency 1-0. Alright, we're live across our social media platforms, that is on Facebook, on YouTube, and you can as well send us your feedback through our SMS line, that is 23059. Now EBN Prime Edition starts now. And you can start this particular program with some sad story, and at least 10 people, all members of the same family, died in a horrific road accident in Kodada, Rachunyo West, Homa Bay County, bringing December's road death toll to 28. But the family, who were returning home from a wedding ceremony en route to Nyamira, were involved in a head-on collision with 2 lorries along the Kisumu-Kisii Road. Now 6 other passengers sustained serious injuries and are currently receiving treatment at Rachunyo South Hospital. In a separate incident on Monday morning, a bus belonging to Easy Coach rammed into a rear of a truck at Ngata along the Nairobi-Nakuru Highway. 1 person died on the spot, while 11 others sustained serious injuries.
Toto wetu. So ikawa tumeanza safari kukuja. Tulipofika pale, hakika tulipata ya kwamba tulipata kuelezewa na wale ambao walikuwa kwa sini ya kwamba kuna truck ambayo ilikuwa inatoka upande wa juu, maana walikuwa wanatoka na chini wakipanda kwenda Kisii, na ile truck ilikuwa inatoka upande wa Kisii nayo inateremka chini. So in between hii truck ika lose control, ni kama ilikuwa na tire burst. Katika hiyo harakati ikapoteza mwelekeo, ikatoka kutoka kwa mkono wake upande wa kulia ikakuja ikaingia kwa mkono wa kushoto, ikapata kuingia katika hili gari ambalo huyu mtoto wetu alikuwa anaendesha.
We tried all we can to reach to the scene, and when we reached the scene, we found that already 10 were confirmed dead, 6 female and 4 male.
Tumesikia sana. Ajali imekuwa mbaya sana. Na ni kama tumepoteza kama familia, na ni juzi tumesika mwingine alikufa hapo Sondu ajali kama hiyo ya barabara.
Alright, at the same time, as the festive season approaches, Kenyans have been urged to adhere strictly to traffic rules and avoid bribery to curb the rising number of road accidents. The National Council of the Administration of Justice, that is NCAJ, emphasized that a multi-sectoral approach is crucial to enhancing road safety across the country. Speaking on the onset of the festive season, the NCAJ confirmed plans to deploy mobile traffic courts and set up roadblocks along major highways to deter reckless driving and ensure compliance with traffic regulations. The council also issued a stern warning against drunk driving, over-speeding and other unsafe practices which have been linked to an increase in road-related fatalities during holiday seasons. Now, authorities urged motorists to exercise caution, respect road signs, and prioritize the safety of themselves, passengers, and other road users.
To prioritize joint enforcement and visibility across the country, and especially in high-risk corridors, to handle traffic matters instantly during the festive season. What we want to assure Kenyans is we do not want to cut short their festivity. They will be handled expeditiously, and they will be able to proceed to their destinations. Those who will require legal representation will be accorded an opportunity and encouraged to reach out to their advocates within a reasonable time, and we will be sharing the links every day where the mobile traffic courts are operating, so that those who will be charged can quickly contact their lawyers and get online in those courts that are going to be handling these traffic offenses.
Right, we hope that our drivers be vigilant even, as people head to their festive season. Right, moving on, religious leaders from the Kisii County have strongly opposed the proposed bill aimed at regulating the operations of churches, calling for its complete withdrawal. Now, speaking on Monday through their umbrella organizations representing pastors and faith leaders, the clerics argued that the legislation would hinder church activities and infringe on the constitutional rights to freedom of worship. The leaders further claimed that the current government came to power with the support of religious institutions, and any attempts to regulate or control faith-based organizations are unacceptable. They urged lawmakers to respect the autonomy of churches and prioritize collaboration with religious institutions rather than imposing restrictive measures that could disrupt spiritual activities.
According to us, we are doing very well in matters of ministry, and I'm persuaded in my heart that even the president is not aware of the details in the bill. Hiyo bili haijatengenezwa na watu ambao wanaelewa Mungu wa taifa la Kenya. Ni sisi kama wachungaji, we have the capacity to regulate ourselves, to manage our affairs.
Tungeomba kwanza kabla amchatuletea bili, tafadhali mjue kama ni nani katikati yenu ambaye anaongoza na nguvu za giza, kwa sababu kila mara kanisa inaingiliwa. Na hizo bili mnazotengeneza kwetu wakati mwingine zinakuja zinapotea. Ni kwamba kuna mahali mmeruhusu nguvu za giza kuongoza, maybe mawaziri ama wabunge wetu.
Serikali kitu ingefanya, ikiona inataka kuingilia kanisa, ingetupatia mandate, so we can follow up to wapatie information, kwa sababu sisi ndio tuko ground, tuambie kwamba ni kanisa gani haifanyi vizuri ama ni kanisa gani inafanya vizuri, kwa sababu doctrine iko wazi katika Biblia. Na kama ni watu ambao wanaonekana kwamba hawafanyi vizuri, serikali chukua huyo mtu. Kama una uwezo wa kumstaki unaweza kumstaki, kama una uwezo wa kufanya kile unafanya, lakini usiingilie makanisa yote. Kuna watu wameseeka, Chokaya amekufa akiwa anahubiri nchi.
Right, moving on, Kiharu Member of Parliament Ndindi Nyoro has openly criticized President William Ruto's government over the recently established infrastructure fund, raising concerns about transparency, accountability, and the potential financial burden on Kenyans' taxpayers. Now, speaking to the media, Nyoro, who previously chaired the Budget and Appropriations Committee, warned that the current structure of the fund could lead to mismanagement of public resources and exacerbate national debt pressures if the proper oversight mechanisms are not enforced. The MP's remarks mark a rare public rebuke of President Ruto's economic policies from within government allied circles, signaling growing unease over the administration's approach to financing infrastructure projects. Now, Nyoro urged the government to ensure robust governance frameworks are implemented to safeguard public funds and prevent inefficiencies in the execution of infrastructure projects, stressing that accountability must be central to the fund's operations.
The reason for today's engagement is basically because I am sure you have heard about something called infrastructure fund. Previously when the House was well constituted, we could have people speaking for government and we could have other voices being alternatives. But unfortunately nowadays that is not present. And that is why I find if we let it be the way it is, then we'll have all ourselves to blame. And especially given the past experience that I have in terms of the other places I've been serving Kenyans, I feel obligated that it is important for leaders to engage in debate, for Kenyans to know the kind of decisions that are being taken, so that we can also add our voice as Kenyans. Sometimes economics words are jargonistic. So we may end up confusing Kenyans with big words, and especially government may end up doing that. It is important that we keep on breaking down to Kenyans so that Kenyans can understand the decisions that we are making as a country, and they can also give the alternative voices so that we can keep on refining the those that we have. Because I believe any leader, wherever they are, in the executive, in the national treasury, it doesn't mean that when you are occupy a position, you are bequeathed immediately with knowledge, with experience, to make absolutely good decisions. So that's the reason why a democratic country, you give your proposal, you give time for public participation, you listen to other voices, because those other voices are the voices of the people you are leading. And that is the reason why it is important for us to keep on doing this. Now, to go just to the point in terms of infrastructure fund, I am sure my brothers and sisters from the media, you have covered us politicians for quite a long time. And you definitely know that as the elections near, we move, and especially politicians have the ability to again rejuvenate and come up with different slogans and such. And from where I start, the issue we are hearing about infrastructure fund and the grabuse about it is just a preparation of campaign launch, because we've been there before. I mean, we have had these kind of things, and I want to say that anyone who has the opportunity to be in government, a sitting government, has no luxury in promises and has no luxury in giving grabuse plans.
All right, moving on, President William Ruto has awarded environmentalist activist Truphena Muthoni the head of state commendation, that is the HSC medal, and appointed her as an ambassador for Kenya's 15 billion tree planting campaign in recognition of her outstanding contributions to environmental conservation. The announcement came during a meeting at State House on Monday, shortly after Truphena completed a 72-hour tree hugging challenge in Nyeri County, her second attempt to break the Guinness World Record. She had previously succeeded in a 48-hour tree hugging effort. President William Ruto described her feat as a deeply symbolic gesture aimed at raising national and global awareness on environmental conservation and climate change. He lauded her courage, fortitude, and exemplary leadership in highlighting her role in promoting environmental stewardship across Kenya. In addition to the HSC medal, the head of state revealed that the Kenya Wildlife Service and the Kenya Tourism Board will sponsor a holiday experience for Truphena and her team. The Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry will also support her planned trip to Brazil, broadening her exposure to global conservation initiatives.
So, I had this trip for 72 hours.
Yes.
And how long can you go?
My dear.
Yes.
I do many things, but I don't want to try that one. That one I leave it to you. Okay. Me, my job will be to cheer you on. Yes. Break the next record and the next record and support us with the matters environment and all the good things that you are doing.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yes.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful day.
You too.
And my very best wishes.
Yeah.
Good luck with all the good things you are doing.
Thank you.
Sawa sawa.
Right, that's a well, deserved recognition right there. Moving on, residents of Mukuru Kwajenga have urged the government to publicly disclose designated areas for the ongoing affordable housing project, citing lack of transparency as a source of fear and confusion within the community. Now, speaking during a community meeting, the residents claimed that certain individuals and groups are exploiting the housing agenda to intimidate locals, even in areas not officially earmarked for development. They alleged that land grabbers are spreading misleading information and issuing threats, forcing some families to vacate their homes without formal notices. While expressing support for the affordable housing initiative, the residents emphasized the need for openness and public engagement. They called on authorities to make the project's map and plans accessible and involve the community in decision-making process to prevent misunderstandings and ensure orderly implementation.
Wamekuja hapa, tulisema ya kwamba ukiona mwenzako ananyolewa, tia yako nini? So sasa sisi hatunganyamaza kule Kwajenga, na nyinyi hapa mko na shida. Hii shida mko nayo, ninataka kuwaelezea. Sio shida kutoka kwa Office of the President. Wale wenye wanajifanya hapa ati na macrown, ati wanakuja hapa kuwadanganya, ati sasa Mohamed, sijui mara Sepu, sijui mara nini. Musifanye nini? Hakuna kufanya nini?
Wale wanatupiga vita. Vile mnenaji moja amesema, Mokorina amesema ya kwamba kuna watu wamekificha under affordable housing kuterrorize wananchi maskini wa Mungu.
Now, the proposed Autism Management Bill of 2025 has sparked opposition from autism rights advocates who argue that the legislation is punitive and could undermine gains made in the management and inclusion of persons living with autism in Kenya. Now, speaking in Nyahururu town after church service, public policy advocate and autism rights defender Truphena of the Autism Light organizations raised concerns over what he described as major shortcomings in the proposed bill. Now, Chege warned that several loopholes in the legislation risks reversing progress achieved following the enactment of the Autism Bill in 2019. He criticized the bill for lacking adequate data to support its provisions and for containing vague clauses that could weaken its implementation and impact. And according to Chege, such gaps may jeopardize ongoing efforts to improve access to services and support systems for individuals living with autism.
Tulieka an act ya kusaidia county government of Nairobi kuweka at least darasa moja ya watoto autistic pale Nairobi kwa 85 wards. Each ward at least ikuwe na class moja as we progress like that. This is a motion that we did with the Nairobi County MCAs back in 2019. Now, Autism Management Bill has just come 2025. It does not tell us whether watoto wetu watakuwa na darasa ya kusomea. Haituambii kwamba watapata effective accessible education. Haituambii kwamba ni aina gani. We don't know what the government will do. So I would want the Senate to stop wasting time on that bill. We cannot discriminate our children. As I always says, ukitaka kujua inchi, utajua inchi kwa matendo ambayo wanatendea watoto ambayo wako na disability. So if you want to progress, if you want to solve the issues, as the First Lady of this country, Her Excellency Rachel Ruto said, build this classroom. Already kuna sheria in over 18 counties. So ningetaka kuambia Senator Karen Nyamu aache kumislead our parents, aache kumislead the government. The government is only supposed to build this classroom at the ECD level. Kwa sababu at the ECD level, that is the closest government office or government center in Kenya. Any mwananchi can anywhere in Kenya anaweza kufikia ECD level a kilometer or 2. Lakini ukiniambia unit kama hapa niko Nyandarua, mtu atoke Geta Ward anaenda JM ama atoke hapo anaenda huko kwa Ngothi, that is injustice and that is what we are saying. We are leaving our people behind. Tuna focus na mambo ingine, tunaacha wazazi wetu behind, and these parents for God knows they also need therapy, they also need counseling, they also need support from the government.
We have really struggled with schools where you go to a school and they tell you they will not accept the child because the child simply is not fit there. The child is the child cannot interact with the others because they have that, they separate themselves. So to find a facility that really cares holistically about the child is a challenge. I would want the education to be so inclusive such that we have the centers in every community. It is close to the caregivers because sometimes you find a center, it is very far that you feel will fit the child. So I wish the education system will be so inclusive and nearer to the caregiver.
Right now, tourism stakeholders at the Kenya coast have raised 2.2 million Kenya shillings to support a coordinated program aimed at controlling the invasive Indian house crow, a species blamed for environmental degradation. Now, public health concerns and financial losses within the tourism sector. Now, the funds were mobilized during a fundraising event held on Saturday at the Fort Jesus Ocean Front Garden, where the Mombasa County government contributed 1 million Kenya shillings, while hotels and private sectors players raised an additional 1.2 million Kenya shillings. The amount forms part of the 10 million Kenya shillings seed capital targeted to launch sustained eradication efforts across the coast region. Now, speaking at the event, Mombasa Tourism Council Chairman Dr. Sam Ikwaye said the initiative was driven by the private sector following growing concerns over the bird's negative impact on tourism facilities and urban life. He revealed that the tourism industry in Mombasa is losing an estimated 200 million Kenya shillings annually due to the destructive species, citing guest complaints, compensation claims, damage to outdoor facilities, and rising pest control costs.
We're happy that today we're able to achieve the mark that was allocated to the tourism industry. In the last meeting, we agreed to segment the seed money 10 million per different sectors, with tourism sector required to contribute at least 2 million, aviation 2 million, transport 2 million, manufacturing 2 million, and other sectors. And today we've been able to realize the contribution from the sector, with Mombasa County contributing 1 million shillings through the Department of Tourism and Mombasa Tourism Council, and many other stakeholders are contributing up to 1.2 million. So far we can say that we have exceeded the contribution for the tourism industry, with the many other hotels having contributed in kind. So we are hoping that we're going to do the mathematics and should be able to declare the full amount in due course. The campaign is ongoing and we are reaching out to many other corporates. We are starting to interest tourists who are going to come to Mombasa during this festive season to contribute, because we are going to give each hotel, each attraction center at the airport, at the SGR and in every hotel.
Mnyama ambaye ameleta madhara mengi sana miongoni mwetu hapa Mombasa, hususan sekta ya utalii. Ndipo sisi kama County Government of Mombasa tukishirikiana na washirikadau tofauti kutoka nyanja mbalimbali, tukishirikiana na wenye mahoteli, tunasema kwamba imefika wakati ya kwamba mnyama huyu lazima tumwangamize, kwa sababu kuna sababu nyingi sana scientific evidence na sababu nyingi ambazo wataalamu niko nao hapa ambao wataweza kuelezea wakazi wa Mombasa waelewe ni kwa nini mnyama huyu anafaa kuangamiza, ni kwa nini mnyama huyu ni hatari. Tunaambia kwamba he is not a native bird. He is a bird who was imported from either India. So he has really interfered with our natural environment, with our natural ecosystem. And therefore, it's very important that as a people, it's high time that we need to work together, we bring our energies together so that we eliminate this bird. It may not be a one-time activity, but it should be activity that is running. Maybe you can have a target. We can say by 2026, 2027, we should have total get rid of this bird.
We are working with KWS. We're kind of the hands and feet to do the work of the crow eradication. We were doing the program Poisoning Crows in Watamu Malindi 20 years ago and had been doing very successfully, which is why we were now brought forward to try and do it here, and it has been successful. We've been working on poisoning crows now for about 1.5 years almost in Watamu Malindi.
Right now, parents have been asked to take greater responsibility in their children's education as part of efforts to improve learning outcomes and create a supportive academic environment for students. Now, speaking to residents of Changamwe constituency during this year's Akamba Cultural Handicrafts Festival, and the area member of Parliament, that is Omar Munyi, emphasized the need for parents to closely monitor their children's academic progress both in and out of school. Rather, he said increased parental involvement would help identify challenges facing learners early and contribute to better performance. Now, the MPs say also called on schools to ensure they are led by accountable and committed administrators who prioritize academic standards. He noted that school leaders responsible for overseeing education quality must dedicate sufficient time and effort to ensure students acquire the right skills in a conducive learning environment.
Wazazi pengine kidogo hawawajibiki vilivyo, kwa sababu unapopeleka mtoto shule inatakiwa pia ufuatizie mtoto anaendelea namna gani, na walimu pia wanaenda vipi, na shule inafanya vipi. Na njia moja mzuri ni kwamba kuwepo na viongozi ambao watasimamia mambo ya elimu ndani ya ile shule. Kama hapa Akamba Handicraft, Bwana Matu na kamati yake wanakaa kwa ile boardroom yao kuamua maneno ya Akamba, na unaona kila kitu kinaenda sawa. Kwa sababu gani? Wanatoa time yao kuhakikisha kila kitu kinaenda sawa hapa. Hata haya mambo ambayo yanafanyika hapa hayafanyiki kabla watu hawajakutana na kupanga haya mambo. Hata shule zetu zitakiwa ziendeleshwe namna hiyo. Wale ambao watachaguliwa kuendesha hizo shule wawe ni watu ambao wana hamu ya matokeo mazuri wana ujuzi wa mambo ya elimu, na wana time ya kuhakikisha kwamba mambo yote pale shule yataenda ili aweze kutoa matokeo mazuri. Mfano mzuri ni Kwale High. Hapa jirani tu. Kwale High wameamua, na kwa mara ya pili sasa they are posting very good results, kiasi ya kwamba they are challenging zile shule ambazo tulikuwa tunazijua ni shule bora katika Kenya, including Alliance, Mangu na zile zingine. Ni kwa sababu gani? Waliamua wao wanataka good results. Uongozi, especially uongozi wa siasa, inataka kidogo mtu awe ana roho ya kupenda watu genuinely, yani sio kuwahadaa. Unawapenda watu mpaka wao wanajua pia wewe unawapenda, na uwe uko tayari kuwatumikia beyond ile utumishi ambao unatarajiwa.
Right, now let's get sporty. And Faith Star FC from Mary North constituency were crowned champions of the 2025 Embu Governors Cup after edging out Marvelous FC of Manyata constituency 1-0 in a tightly contested men's final played on Sunday at a packed Moi Stadium in Embu town. Now, the decisive goal came in the dying minutes of the first half, scored from an indirect free kick that sent the crowd into celebrations and sealed Faith Star's victory. Now, for their triumph, Faith Star FC walked away with a cash prize of 600,000 Kenya shillings, while runners-up Marvelous FC received 400,000 Kenya shillings. Now, the award ceremony was presided over by Cabinet Secretary for Public Service Geoffrey Ruku, who lauded the tournament for promoting grassroots talent and unity among young people in the county. Now, in the women's final, Kirimari Ladies FC from Manyata constituency dominated Santos Starlets FC of Mbeere South, securing a convincing 4-0 victory to lift the ladies' title. Now, Kirimari Ladies pocketed 400,000 Kenya shillings in prize money, while Santos Starlets took home 300,000 Kenya shillings.
Kwa hivyo tukikuja kwenu with more requests, tafadhali usukume ndio tuweze kuwa with a bigger event that will run for a longer time and that will bring more teams to this field. Leo tutapatiana cash awards katika the top teams. I will name them as we move along as Waziri gives the awards, but also we are going to give uniforms to all the teams that participated, right from the ward level up to the county level. Hakuna team akitakuwa na uniform na mpira.
Nataka pia nifikize salamu ya Mheshimiwa Naibu wa Rais wa Kenya, Profesa na shilingi milioni 1. FC. Hawa ndio the champions wale 100.
Right, it is exactly 30 minutes past the top of the hour. Now up to speed, those making headlines from across our 47 counties and of course in the world of sports. Many thanks for keeping me company until this particular minute. Do have yourself a good night, and as always, let's do this again when God says we do.